Done. Meeting will come to order, please. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual meeting notice was sent to the press, the Down Beach Current, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, the municipal website, and filed in the office of the municipal clerk. Would you please stand for the flag salute? Attention, salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tom, call the roll, please.
Roll call, Mayor Becker.
Here.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Here.
Commissioner Tobey.
Here.
We have before us the minutes of our March 19th meetings. Are there any additions or corrections?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as is.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Roll call, Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Tobey.
Yes.
We will open to public comment. You have 3 minutes on any subject. Is there any public comment?
Sewell, 22 West Drive. Mayor, it was my impression that we were going to disassociate ourselves from Fort Scott. Is that correct?
Pardon me, sir?
I didn't hear you, Mayor.
I'm sorry. I wasn't listening, John. What was your question, please?
I'll repeat it for you, and I'll repeat it slowly, Mayor.
Please do, John.
Okay. It was my distinct impression that after the fiasco and the judicial decision handed down, that we were going to disassociate ourselves from Fort Scott.
Ford Scott is no longer the auditor according to our resolution.
I'll sleep better tonight, Mother.
And however, they have continued to be our financial advisor.
Do you think that's judicious?
Certainly, we all passed that, John. Unanimously, actually.
Well, it wouldn't be in my book. But to a more important topic, Mayor, and of course it reminds us of the solicitor's arch nemesis. There was an article in yesterday's press whereby his precedent-setting sending relationship with Ocean City was essentially upheld with a minor modification in the sense that now there's a dual sending setup. But I would venture to say that the vast majority of those from Longport would opt to go to Ocean City. And once again, Mayor, at $9,000 per pupil per year, if we had a similar decision rendered for Margate, we could save up to $1 million per year. $1 million per year. And if you followed the situation at that Atlantic City High, that education is neither thorough nor efficient. And Mayor, you have a constitutional duty to provide a thorough and efficient education for the students of Margate School District. And what's transpiring in Atlantic City is neither thorough nor efficient. And it's time that we perhaps retain George Miller and let him submit a carbon copy of his Longport case, just substituting Margate for Longport. And I think that would save us a substantial amount of money. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, John. Anyone else? Public comment? Is there a motion to close public comment?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Tom, would call the roll, please.
Roll call, Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Tobey.
Yes.
We will now open public comment for comment on resolutions and second reading of ordinances. Please come forward, state your name for the record, please.
Sewell, 22 West Drive. Mayor, all matters that you were supposed to get an update on, Mayor? Do we have that update, those financial numbers?
What numbers were that, John?
Oh, I'll have to refresh your recollection, Mayor.
That takes up part of your 3 minutes, John.
It takes the best part of 3 minutes to refresh that
Go
recollection.
ahead. I'll get it ready, son.
Did you get those numbers, Mayor?
What numbers were they, John?
Perhaps your able city clerk, he was supposed to assist you, Mayor.
And he well did, John.
Perhaps can I refer the question to the city clerk?
You may not.
All right, I'll refer it back to you, Mayor. You had assured me that you would get the numbers for Phase 1. I was rather disturbed by the numbers for Phase 2.
Understand that. Phase 1, John, was...
Yes, Phase 1, Mayor.
Phase 1 was for design of the City Hall project in the amount of $33,000.
Okay, so it's north of 2 million, well north of 2 million. And my question once again is, why would you want to rehab that mold incubator when you could have left the facade and tore the whole darn thing down? And for $2 million, put up a new edifice?
John, continue your comment, John.
No, I'm finished.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, one other point. Since there are 2 resolutions dealing with redemption of tax liens, I once again urge this commission to bring the tax penalty interest more in line with the current prime rate. At the very least, it should not be 18% or 1.5% per month, but at least start somewhere south of that at 1.25%, 15%. Because people who are down on their luck and can't pay their taxes shouldn't be kicked further. 18% is a usurious rate of interest. If the prime rate goes back up, I'm all for restoring a higher penalty on tax liens. But this commission should consider a lower rate of interest. And I would suggest 1.25% per month as opposed to 1.5%. It's a good start. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Anyone else? Public comment?
Dan Campbell, Huntington Avenue. Before I get started, Scott, I just want to ask you, are the Hiltner lawsuit figures public information? I can talk about that? Okay. Actually, my question is intended for you, Brenda, because you sent me a letter in reply to my letter that I sent to the Karen questioning the lawsuit. So if you have a minute, I just want to ask you a question and read out the letter that you sent me. You're okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. In response, you said, "Hi, Dan, hope all is well." And quite frankly, thank you, everything is well. I didn't want to embarrass you in a current letter, but where did you get the $700,000 figure for Hiltner versus the city of Margate? Here are the current figures and the final cost. I checked with Scott, and those numbers are public information. Best, Brenda Taubey. P.S. Maury should have them. He voted on the settlement. Now, you sent me the costs related to the Tom Hiltner versus Margate suit. And I have them here, and I just want to let you know that I graduated from college 35 years ago. I wasn't a math major, but I want to read them out to you. The severance was $260,000. The legal fees were $50,000. His health insurance was $108,000 for $418,000. The cost to Archer Greiner, who defended the city, was $227,000 and change. The solicitor of Margate was $15,000 and change, and the JIF reimbursed city for $64,000. Now again, I'm not a math major. My kids went to college, and I know they have this new thing, this new math out there. But my simple little calculator told me that those figures are over $700,000. So my question to you is, I get the gist of this letter, and I hope that you're not defending that the suit was only $600,000 in your mind and not the $7.25 that my calculator has. But for you to write a letter to me to answer this, I wouldn't be touting that it was only 600 and not 7.25. But these figures, as you gave them to me right here, total over $700,000. Now, one second. Now, it would be in Maury's best interest, since you've included him in this, since I've seen your last mailer that went out, and I see that you and Mike are here and John's here, but this, to me, would be a perfect mailer for somebody like Maury to send out, because you're proud of the figure that you have in your mind that cost us, the taxpayers, for that settlement.
That's your thought, not mine. My point was it was 105,000 inflated. And I don't want to put Lisa on the spot, but would you be able to explain us how the net is 596 and not 700?
You're asking me, you sent this to me, it's your net. You wrote 596. I just gave you all the totals.
No, actually, that printout came from our CFO.
Okay, but you sent it, you're responsible, you highlighted it. Okay, simple math comes to over $700,000. Did you do the math on this before you sent it out, or were you just eager to send this out?
No, I looked at it, Dan.
Okay, so then how do you come to that figure?
Can I see it?
Sure. And while you figure that out, I'll just ask, I mean, Mike, what is your, if somebody asked you, what did it cost the city? What did the city have to write checks for to get rid of Mr. Hiltner? What would your answer be, roughly?
600, I think, 590, something like
Okay,
that.
those figures right there are over $700,000. Now, I don't know if you guys aren't including what the city had to pay for Archer Griner, but it's over $700,000.
No, I don't have those numbers yet.
Okay, you can look at it. It's a quick little calculation. And quite honestly, I'd leave this alone. I wouldn't bring it up, but you took the time to send me a letter and even if those numbers were correct, I don't know that I'd be bringing it out as a point of interest that it was only 596 and not 7.25.
I didn't say only, Dan. Come on. Can I, you want to read exactly what the letter said?
Yeah, I'll reread it to you. Hey, Dan, hope all is well. And it is. I didn't want to embarrass you in the current. And believe me, you're not going to embarrass me because I've had your job for 4 years and nobody can embarrass me anymore, okay, including Mr. Sewell. But where did you get the $700,000 figure for Hiltner versus the city of Margate? And I got it from the same thing you did.
Oh, okay. All right, so 418, Archer and Griner, 15 minus 64, total other, and that doesn't,
But you-
596, 538?
The JIF contributed 64. Margate, even though the JIF contributed, it comes from insurance payments that Margate makes into the JIF.
I don't know if it's fair to...
Yes, it is fair. Then why do you carry insurance? Lisa's still here. Does the city make payments into JIF? Okay, so it is. JIF pays, we make premium payments into JIF.
So that's not a fair thing, Dan. It's really not.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Mike.
I say I don't think that's really fair. Are you going to say that because how much insurance payments do we make to the JIF? Are you going to say that that's all it costs for the Hiltner lawsuit? No, that's not a fair thing.
Okay, so then let's take the 227, the 418, and the 15,000. And if I add those up, let's see, that's 645, 660, $660,000. I include the JIF, okay, because that's part, Mr. Hiltner, total dollar settlement for everything, the cost of the city. If we never got into a riff with Mr. Hiltner, we wouldn't have had to pay 1 cent. But total payments made is over $700,000. And that's where I came up with that figure, Brenda.
All right, can we ask Lisa about this? Because I think
Well,
that's still
why-
546.
Rather than doing it here, why don't you get yours, and you get yours with Lisa, and would you respond to Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Okay. That's
Okay,
fine.
is
That's fine.
is there a final number that the city will be able to confirm so that we all know this? I think it's important that the taxpayers of Margate know, especially before the May election, how much it costs the city to get rid of Mr.
I would
Hiltner.
be very comfortable with doing that.
Okay. And when can I expect to get that?
From Lisa's action, I assume, Dan, she's going to get that probably very soon.
Okay.
Very soon.
Should I wait around, or do you mean another
I
time?
don't know. She obviously did.
Wait around?
I would.
You know, you're not being fair to them. What about what's not being paid out per annum? Does that factor in too?
No.
If we're going to factor what we pay Jiff, shouldn't we also factor in what's no longer paid out in salary,
Well,
benefits?
I hear
But
Dan's point. We should get the right number for
Scott, the
it.
reason I came here for was because I wrote an opinion letter to the Karen. And our Commissioner Taube, questioned where I got the $700,000 figure. So I didn't pick it out of the air. She sent me what those figures are, and it's over $700,000. So I'm just answering her question and wondering where that comes from. That's great that you're saving money. I agree with you 100%. You know what? That's a great way to reduce our debt. That way of doing it is a great way to do it, and I understand that. I'm just answering Brenda's question of where I came up with those figures. They were figures supplied by Brenda.
No, they weren't.
They were not supplied by me. I got the numbers from Lisa, and I sent the numbers to you.
All right.
Okay?
Okay,
All right,
they're
I
not
don't-
my numbers.
They're not your numbers, just on your letter that you sent to me, they're not your numbers. Then you need to do a better job then, Brenda. Don't send out here and say you're going to embarrass me. What if you did send this to the Karen? Who would be embarrassed, you or me? You.
You wouldn't be.
You would be.
Dan, I don't know if Lisa is really getting that, but we'll get back to you real soon with those numbers, the real
Okay.
numbers. Okay, thank you.
And if I'm wrong, I apologize, but I stand by the 596 based on the number Lisa gave me. Thank you.
I'd love to.
Any other public comment, please?
With a fish hook.
Steve Warner, 103 North Sumner Avenue. I'd just like to, pick up where Mr. Campbell left off. My understanding is that there's the assistant tax collector and the assistant city clerk are not going to be replaced. Am I correct on that? Yes. Those positions are not going to be
More likely than
filled.
not, let's see,
Did you answer his question?
more likely than not.
More than likely, they're not going to be filled. So therefore, there's going to be a savings every year to the city of Mr. Hiltner's salary, which is $205,000 a year, which over the 9 years length of the contract is $1.8 million, over $1.8 million, savings to the city. Now, if you subtract that $596,000, because I happen to have gotten the figures off of the internet for the city website, and that's $596,000. That's a net savings to the city over the 9 years of Mr. Hiltner's contract of $1.2 million, over $1.2 million. So it's a $1.2 million savings getting rid of Mr. Hiltner. So that settles that.
Anyone else? Is there a motion to close
Should we see if Lisa's,
public comment? Pardon me?
should we see if Lisa's,
I'll make that motion.
Lisa, did you?
Did we want to respond to Dan Campbell?
I just found this.
Well, I would like to, understand if the numbers are not accurate, too. So,
Lisa, I just found this in the back of my book. Is this I didn't know it was, I didn't remember it was there.
This is, I'm assuming, what you have in your hands.
I assume this is what you
The
gave.
total severance package, what I call it, for Mr. Hiltner, payments amount to $418,000.
Correct,
Okay?
that's what I have.
Those are lump sum payments, cost of legal fees, and,
If I may interject, can I interject? I'm not disagreeing with the board. I have the same thing that you do. You're only including the severance package to Mr. Hiltner. You're not including the fees to Archer Griner.
They're there.
Okay. That's the same thing I have, okay?
Right.
418 plus 227 plus 15,270. Okay, if you want to back out the JIF, that's fine. That's still going to bring it to $660,000. And if you include the JIF, it's over 700. It's the same thing I have. Add those numbers up. You guys choose not to include JIF, which is
No.
fine. That's 600 and change.
It's, JIF is there. It's
yeah, my
it's
records
deducted.
show that when
Right.
you add it back in, it's around $660,000.
When you,
Right.
no, if you take 418, let's do math here, 418 plus 227 is
Right.
645,
Correct.
and add 15 and change for the solicitor, that's 660.
660,
So
right.
it's 660. If you include the JIF,
Oh, you're adding that back in.
well, the JIF
Oh,
is still
okay.
payment,
So,
so that's 700.
So I think
The
Dan's
JIF
saying it's
is a
660 with the
receipt.
JIF, before the JIF's
this
backed out.
calculation, if you look at the calculation that I prepared, this math works out. Dan's point is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that I am reducing it by the reimbursement from the JIF for our legal fees. However, his point is that because we pay an annual assessment into the joint insurance fund, we're really not reducing it because basically we're getting our money back. That's money that we're paying towards our insurance. Whether or not that's fair to say, you know, I prefer not to comment on that, okay? But this calculation, as prepared, is mathematically correct. That you look at it, it's how you perceive to interpret.
So the numbers that I got from you, that I gave to Dan, are correct. We agree on that. Dan's point is
So
that we deducted the
difference is in an
60,000.
interpretation. I don't... yeah,
Okay,
Okay.
let me ask you this then. If somebody came by and told you, I'll give you $64,000, but it's coming from a third party, and you were given that $64,000, would you be $64,000 richer or not?
I think we would be paying that money anyway with
Would you
all
be-
this.
That is
Six-
cor- Yeah, I would be.
You would
Are
be.
you going to do that for me then?
A third party doing it, is doing it. JIF is doing it.
Okay.
Regardless, that's where I came up with that figure. And the bottom line was, I was answering your question, okay? Because you don't want to embarrass me. So I'm answering your question. That's where I came up with the figure.
Okay, so we're at 600 with the JIF contribution deducted, and we're at 660 without.
That's right.
We agree. We're on the same page with those numbers.
Okay.
Whatever you want to agree to.
Okay.
$664,000.
I'm glad everything is well.
Yep, thank you.
Anyone, all right, is there a motion? Come on, one more chance.
I just want to chime in again, since everybody got a chance to talk 2 or 3 times. The net thing is the city saved over $1.2 million by not employing Mr. Hiltner. I would like to make that clear, okay? $1.2 million. Thank you.
Everybody's numbers are correct. Is there a motion to close public comment?
I'll make a motion, we close public comment.
Second. Tom?
Did I get a second?
I did, yes. That was
Roll
me.
call, Mayor Becker,
Yes,
Commissioner Blumberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Tobey.
Yes.
okay. Tom? We have
Okay.
the ordinances, please.
Shall I go? Okay.
Go for it.
Under ordinances this evening, our first ordinance is the adoption of ordinance number 03-215. I will read that, and then we should consider a public hearing. Ordinance 03-215 is an ordinance fixing the salaries and wages and compensation of certain officers and employees of the City of Margate, Atlantic City, New Jersey.
First reading is today, why don't we do...
Is there a motion to open?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Public hearing is open.
How about, today's the 2nd, how about the 16th? Is that our next meeting?
No, this is already been heard. It's ready for adoption this evening.
Oh, this is second reading. It says first reading on my agenda.
It was March 5th was the first reading.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong date. I apologize. Go, yes, Tom, I vote
Okay.
yes.
All right, the public hearing is open.
Are there any questions?
Is there a motion to close the hearing?
Make that motion.
Second.
Okay. Is there a motion to consider the ordinance?
I make that motion.
Second.
Tom, call the roll, please.
Roll call, Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Commissioner Talby?
Yes.
Okay. Our next ordinance is ordinance number 04-2015. So I'll read the ordinance and then we'll consider the public hearing. Ordinance 04-2015 is a bond ordinance appropriating $4,630,000 and authorizing the issuance of $4,398,500 in bonds and notes of the City of Margate City for various capital improvements or purposes authorized to be undertaken by the City of Margate City and the County of Atlantic, New Jersey.
I'll make that motion.
Motion to open the public hearing is Blumberg.
Second. Second.
Second.
Is there?
Roll call is Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Talby.
Yes.
Okay. Public hearing is open. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call is Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Talby.
Yes.
Is there a motion on the ordinance?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
05 to 15?
Yes.
This is ordinance 04-215. We have it's been moved and seconded. Roll call is Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Talby.
Yes.
Our next ordinance is ordinance 05-2015. I'll read the ordinance and then give consideration for the public hearing. Ordinance 05-2015 is a bond ordinance providing for various water utility capital improvements in and by the City of Margate City in the County of Atlantic City, New Jersey, appropriating $1,500,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,500,000 of bonds or notes of the city for refinancing the cost thereof.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Roll call is Mayor, Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Talby.
Yes.
All right, the public hearing is open.
I move we close.
Second.
Second is... Okay, roll call on closing the public hearing is Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Talby.
Yes.
Okay. Is there a motion on the ordinance?
It's first reading, right?
No, this is a second reading.
First reading was March 19th. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, and the roll call is Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Talby.
Yes.
Okay. Our next ordinance for adoption is number 06-2015, amendment to Margate City Code of Ordinance, Chapter 257-15, Vehicle and Traffic Handicap Parking on Streets, 219 North Clarendon Avenue, east side, from a point 257 feet south of the southerly curb line of Brunswick Drive to a point 22 feet south thereof. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Roll call is Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Taube.
Yes.
Okay, the public hearing is open.
I move we close.
Second.
Roll call on closing the hearing is Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Taube.
Yes.
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay. Roll call on the ordinance is Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Taube.
Yes.
Okay.
Tom, we're going to take a little break, have the budget hearing. I'll take care of it.
Okay.
And then we'll go back to resolution. Okay? We'll now have our 2015 budget hearing. That will be open. And I think Mr. Costello will make a brief presentation. Is that okay with you, Leon?
Thank you. So this is the end of your budget process tonight for the final adoption. And I've given you two sheets that really summarize the position that the city's in right now. And the top one is the one that has the highlighted green areas, which shows that there's no tax increase, that you're $735,000 under what you're allowed to levy legally, you're $1.9 million under what you're allowed to spend, your percentage of collection is a very healthy 98.19, and your fund balance has actually increased. Even though this budget's using more, your fund balance has increased by $68,000. The second page shows the things that we know as of today. We do know what your school tax is because you had your Board of School Estimates meeting. That's down 0.6%. The library tax is down 0.1%, and you're even. So the things that we know are down 0.7%. The county that's highlighted in blue is anybody's guess what's going to happen with that. We're still waiting on, is there a pilot, is there no pilot, how's the tax going to be allocated? So that's completely up for grabs right now. Anybody can guess what they want as to what the county's going to assess you for 2015. Your budget is rock solid. There's been several meetings, you've discussed it, and I don't see any reason why you should hesitate in implementing this. It's a good budget and puts you in a good position.
Thank you very much, Leon. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leon.
Okay. We have the amendment and the adoption of the budget.
All right. We have resolution number 64-215. This is an amendment to amend the 2015 budget.
I move that we approve that.
Second.
Roll call, Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Taube.
Yes.
Okay. Number 65-215 is a resolution to adopt the budget.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Taube.
Yes.
Okay. All right, now we'll move on to the remainder of the resolutions. Resolution 66-215 is an authorization for tax sale, tax certificate redemption.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
And the roll call is Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Taube.
Yes.
Resolution 67-215 is also an authorization for a tax certificate redemption.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call is Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Taube.
Yes.
Resolution 68-215 calls for the rejection of bids for the 2014 state aid reconstruction of Amherst Avenue.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Second.
Okay. Roll call is Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Tawby.
Yes.
Okay. Resolution 69-215 authorizes the re-advertisement and receipt of bids for 2014 state aid reconstruction of Amherst Avenue.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay. Roll call is Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Tawby.
Yes.
Resolution 70-15 authorizes the purchase of a 2015 Dodge Ram Tradesman pickup through New Jersey state contract.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, roll call is Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Tawby.
Yes.
Resolution 71-215 is authorization to pay claims and bills and pay payroll.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Tawby.
Yes.
Resolution 72-215 authorizes the advertisement and receipt of bids for the redevelopment of well number 9.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Roll call, Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Tawby.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you, Tom.
you're welcome.
Is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Roll call is Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Tawby.
Yes.
Thank you all for being here.
Okay. That's a lot of good work for 40 minutes. We got a budget, we got a capital budget.
Be good.
Good job.